Gudric's breath rose in the frigid air. Despite the familiar temperature, it did not brighten his mood. The bunker was old, dating back to one of the earliest Imperial crusades of the sector, but still the cryogenics remained functioning. As had the doors. It had taken Deep Howe almost 2 hours to rouse their machine spirits and another 3 to bypass the security failsafes. Even so, it was at a cost greater than time. The main door and side hatch would now open to anyone. Or anything.
"I hope we've not made this easier for them,"
grumbled the warrior, remembering the jest brought a grin to Gudric's face. As he stood in the chilled corridor, Lorgis Ghostblood approached, the scout moving as quiet as his spectral clan name implied.
"Sergeant, I've completed the recon of the entrance valley. Beyond the rusted razor wire and tank traps, there's little in means of automated defences."
Gudric frowned.
"So it will be claw and bolter here, old friend."
Ghostblood fell in step with the tactical sergeant.
"I've marked some high ground out beyond the wire to the team, but it's deadly exposed. I've also set Fell Fury to planting crack grenades at the choke points. He always has a few more than the rest of us. Grimbrow and Dark Age are sweeping the perimeter and will hold the main entrance."
They had approached the main bulkhead door as he spoke. It opened without challenge or delay, and the two Astartes walked out into the humid night air. Gudric saw the 2 mentioned members of the scout fire team positioned each side of the blast door, bolters raised, their muzzles steady. The Grey Hunter Fell Fury knelt at the doorway, taping a bundle of explosives to a crate. Gudric Orcsbane looked out into the darkness of the valley. So many relying on so few, he thought grimly. He keyed his comm.
"Brothers, this facility, you all know what weapons are housed here. If the Xenos claim them before the destruction procedure is complete, countless worlds will perish. We must deny them."
As dawn broke, the 8 hero warriors of the Crimson Mist fought not for their own lives, but for the lives of billions. Hello everybody, welcome to Glass Half Dead. I hope you enjoyed the opening narrative to this first video in a 3-part campaign that has been Space Wolves against Necrons, and therefore, logically, I've decided to call it the Campaign of the Steel Jaws. I was fielding the Necrons, and a friend was playing the Space Wolves. So this is my kill team for the opening game. The warrior on the left is my leader. I have 2 flayed ones. One of them is a zealot, and then I have 4 immortals, all with Gorse blasters. Here we have the Space Wolves team. This is my friend's team, so I'm not entirely sure what they are. And unfortunately, also, this entire thing was recorded long enough ago that I've since changed phone, and now my battle scribe lists are lost. So I'm kind of doing this by memory, but you can see what they all are. We've got a scout with a shotgun. We've got a standard marine with a heavy bolter. I know that one of them's a demolitions. I'm pretty sure one of them's a comms, and the force axe or power axe here is actually really a power sword, because of course a power axe doesn't exist for these guys. And there we go. Here we get the first overview. These here are the 3 objectives. We are playing a narrative mission here. My forces have split into 2 groups. I have my leader in the bottommost group, along with my zealot and one immortal, and everybody else has gone to the north, heading through the main door. Another angle here, we can see exactly what the heavy bolter can see. We see down the corridor a little bit there, and we see his 2 hidden guys. And then we see it from my perspective. We see there's now a scout on the left. Just in case you're wondering, we played these doors as they are blocking line of sight. However, you could just move through them, no issues. You don't have to stop either side of them. They just open, you walk through, they close. They are effectively temporary line of sight blockers. Sorry, we get one more. This is, yes, his leader is behind the door. That's why that's relevant, and it will be relevant. Okay, we can see in my first turn I've moved up. We also see at the bottom here by the side entrance, my Zealot advanced. And rather luckily, I managed to get a successful charge off with my other Zealot. Pretty tasty. I've got to say, very good charge on the first turn. Ah, yes. So, this is why the doors were relevant. Unfortunately, he was out of line of sight and he charged my men, my immortals, and yep, he managed to get in there. Yep, there we go. We see he's made it in there up at the top. My zealot down here, my veteran, whatever they are, has managed to stay within 2 inches of this, the objective. He's killed one marine. I think it was just a scout, and he's now engaging this other marine. We see his scout advanced up here and is now hiding behind some cover, which we did actually count as difficult terrain, dangerous terrain actually, sorry. He's taken a flesh wound, but he's hanging in there. And of course, thanks to transhuman physiology, he's fine. As I recall, he's easily within 6 inches here, and so instead of using his shotgun, he threw grenades every turn. Eventually, it worked. Spoilers. He's also managed to get both the scout and his leader into combat with one of my immortals and dealt a flesh wound. That's a nice little overview where we can see enemy scout here looking at my leader. Not great, but yeah. And this is relevant because with this barely visible flayed one, one time I attempted to canoptek scarabs, mine shackle scarabs, sorry, the heavy bolter, and I did once. However, if we can see, no, we can't see, he's actually within 1 inch of a friendly model to him, which means that when I mine shackle scarabs him, he then became within 1 inch of an enemy model, which means he cannot shoot. So that was a wasted 2 CP. And this is just a nice little close up to show that I'm clearly within 2 inches of the objective, and I've killed one of the marines here, and about to kill another, hopefully. Here we go. It's relevant to know that he's there because he's actually blocking this guy's way round. You can see just in the top corner there. Okay, and then we've moved on to the next turn, and we see that although, yes, my flayed ones have done well. Actually, sorry, one of my flayed ones has done well. He's killed 2 guys straight away. I've lost my leader. That's bad. And I've lost an immortal. That is also bad. Yeah. So at this point in the game, I need to have taken out more objectives, or I need to finish the game holding more objectives than he's holding. I'm holding one, he's holding the other, and there's one more here, which he is closer to. Here's just another rundown. Instead of trying to run this guy through, because obviously this guy is right here, so I wouldn't be able to hold the objective, I would only be able to contest, and generally don't rely on Necron Immortals doing anything particularly useful in close combat. And yet we see here, this guy moved up to charge the flayed one. This guy's sitting pretty after having, what's the word? Oh yeah, grenades my leader. Okay, and we're on to the next one. We see the grenades continue to rain down upon me as he killed my other immortal. Nothing of any use is happening here. I believe this guy attempted to make a charge but failed. It was a long charge, but it was also the only possible way of keeping these on the board. Who knows what's going down over here? Either way, I'm losing. Ah, yes. That's just a nice little reminder that the grenades worked and did a very good job. Yeah, we're just moving down a bit here. So we see this fallen over Necron Immortal and fallen over Flayed One. We did that for a little bit of cinematic effect because they both got killed. So yeah, it really turned around on these last few phases, and we see the heavy bolter guy here has retreated, managed to get within 2 inches of this objective. Therefore, he is holding 2. I'm holding none because I had moved my flayed one off of this. That's pretty much all there is to say regarding the first mission in the campaign of the Steel Jaws. Yeah, and that's it. That is the final picture. So, for anyone that wants a bit of a rundown on this, I think where the, well, you know what? I don't want to say the Necrons went wrong because they're a slow army. They were the attackers, and they had to assault an objective. Um, if I were to do it again, I would have swapped my list out, had a lot more flayed ones, because ultimately, what you need to do in this game, on this particular mission, is get more models into this little corridor at the end here, into the enemy defender's deployment zone. And the only way you're going to be doing that really is by getting successful charges. And that's really the main issue here. I suppose also leaving. So if we go back to here, I didn't put everything I had into killing this scout. And obviously, eventually that backfired on me as he killed both an immortal and my leader. Pretty bad, I know. However, keep in mind that I'm a bad player. I don't have much more to say that, but just keep that in mind. I mean, I was hoping to clear out. Um, where is it? Yeah, here we go. I was hoping to clear out this corner of both of those models so that I could then just run my flayed one straight through, get on the objective, and then I would hold both this objective here and this objective here, and we'd be good to go. I'd blow them both up, and then I'd probably win, if I had to guess. But unfortunately, that didn't work out for me. So yeah, main takeaways is that firstly, in narrative get missions, it is easier to be the defender generally. Generally, being the attacker is much more difficult, and that's normally why when it comes to like mission rewards, you get more rewards for being an attacker, and you also don't lose as much for being the attacker when you inevitably fail, whereas the defender will lose a lot if they lose the game. Aside from not having a lot of flayed ones, I felt that the lack of death marks didn't hinder me, and that will come up later in further missions of this campaign as I do start taking death marks. Also, I didn't feel like at some point I really needed a Tesla. I genuinely think that Gorse Blasters are the way to go. I think you can make a great team from just Gorse Blasters, flayed ones, and if you happen to have an odd number of points, which you very well may do as Necrons, a warrior can fill a gap pretty decently. And that's about it. I hope this has been at least a little bit interesting. And we've got two more of these little campaign mission rundowns for you guys that are hopefully going to come out within the next 2-3 days. Well, no, this is coming out Wednesday, so Friday, and then the following Monday. I hope everybody's enjoyed this. Have you guys managed to get any games in yet? If so, I'd love to hear about it. Are you finding the same issues in that it's much easier to be the defender than the attacker? Or is that actually kind of kill team dependent? And on all of the missions, it turns out if you are a fast glass cannon type team, it's better to be the attacker, and you don't really want to defend. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you've all had a great day, and I hope you continue to have a great day. Glass half dead, logging out.